Greetings and welcome to episode 57 of my Empire Total War Darth mod Great Britain campaign. And this, my friends, how we left it last time. Before I begin proper, my friends, upon this campaign, I'd like to apologise to all of you for the lack of uploads within the last week. It's been at least a week since I last uploaded. I know that I don't upload very much as it is anyway, but it's been a combination of a number of things. It's been weather, it's been work, and it's also been technical difficulties. Now, I know that this is going to sound, to many of you who probably live in parts of the world where snow is a prominent feature of your sort of daily lives almost year round. This is going to sound a rather contrite, but we've had quite a lot of bad weather in the UK, more, should I say unusual weather this time of year for the UK. The UK does have sort of a lot of rain and a lot of sort of bad weather, as it were, in inverted commas, but we don't normally get snow, and we have had a considerable amount of snow, particularly where I am in the UK. We very rarely get snow at all, but over the last week at least, it was a huge amount of snows for the UK. Now, I can understand that some of you live in some parts, as I said, that you just see snow all the time, and you know your countries are pretty much equipped to deal with it, and yourselves a deal. But in the UK, everything closes down. I mean, everything, the whole country pretty much came to a grinding halt. So there's a lot of sort of backlog with sort of work, as it were, that just sort of fell behind. You're not even able to get out the door, as it were. So that's one thing. Also, technical problems with the broadband because of the weather. I've had a few problems with my broadband, and also, as I said, work is sort of backlogged, so I've had to catch up with that. So what I didn't want to do was sort of put a video out that wasn't of sufficient quality. I didn't want to sort of rush something out that was just sort of done very, very quickly just to get a video out. I don't believe in doing that. I want to do something that had at least a little bit of a quality to it, you know, had some depth to it, and was, as I said before, that, you know, sort of was worthy of the council and of your time, my friends. I didn't want to put something out and you think, well, Matt, you've just rushed this to put it out. I don't see the point of doing something like that. I don't see the point in putting a video out for the sake of putting a video out if it isn't going to be of sufficient quality. If I'm going to do a video, I want to do the best I possibly can at that time, and thankfully things have come together. So should we just say this is a soft reset of the channel? So I know some of you might be thinking, well, Mala, why have you got the British campaign up? It's only a month since you had the last one. I know this Spanish and the Russian campaign hasn't been seen for a long time. So what I'm going to do is, and also some of you might be thinking, where's the Western Roman Empire campaign coming now? I initially was going to put that out this week, but it's taken me longer because of things that happened last week. It's taken me long to actually, I'm trying to put together an introduction to this with a bit of depth to it, you know, so I wanted to really sort of, I'm spending my time sort of editing that introduction to make it as good as I possibly can. So I'm going to put the Western Roman Empire campaign back a little bit, but that'll be the next series you see after this Great British campaign episodes are finished will be the Western Roman Empire campaign. I haven't forgotten about it, my friends. It hasn't just sort of faded in the distance. It will be coming out. I know it's been 3 weeks since I sort of uploaded the prelude video, but it will be coming out after this series of British campaign episodes, and I'm just putting together the introduction towards it. I'm editing it. I've had a few edits done for it. Some I wasn't quite happy with, so I scrapped it and started all over again because I wanted to make sure it was as good as I could make it. So I've always tried to put quality over quantity, always, with my videos. So I know I don't put many out, but I try to make them as best as I possibly can. So consider this a soft reset of the sort of the channel, as it were, in terms of the campaign. So British campaign, Western Roman Empire campaign. Then I'm going to put out a Spanish and a Russian campaign for definite this time. And then of course we'll have the Napoleon campaign, the Ottoman campaign as well coming back. So just consider this a sort of soft reset. I know it's taken longer than I normally would. I do apologise that for my friends. I really do. And again, your support has been absolutely fantastic as always. But anyway, let's get back to the task at hand here. That is, my friends, expanding and building upon what we did last episode. Now, as you can probably remember last time, and if you don't, my friends, this is what a recap here we've got here. We took Moscow, and what a fight it was for Moscow. But we absolutely caught the Russians by surprise here, and they are, as you can see now, starting to converge upon Moscow here. But look what we've got here, this fighting army. So this fighting army group. So look at this. We've got General A.J. Naylor. Look at this, what a wondrous sight there, what a formidable force. And indeed, now garrisoning here we have General Elizabeth Ernuk, as here, of course, Adam's girlfriend here, is absolutely now garrisoning this. I mean, look at this, this is bring a tear of joy to your eye, nothing will. Look at this, we've got Green Jackets, Royal British Grenadiers, we've got cuirassiers, we've got British Fusiliers, Scottish Highlander Independent Regiment. We are talking the absolute creme de la creme of British fighting forces, and indeed this is the force that took Moscow. Now we have General Roberts here. We have actually pulled this force outside of Moscow, just outside Moscow. It is encamped just outside Moscow to replenish and repair. As you can see, it did take a number of casualties, particularly here the Grenadiers, which were at the forefront of that attack to take the city. And also the Horse Guards did take a fierce pounding, but as you can see, a number of them have already back up to full strength. We've managed to bring in recruitments, but I feel that the sort of the way in and out of Moscow is now going to be slowly but surely blocked off, and I think the Russians are going to start to put a very tight circle around Moscow. Now, down here in the south, in the Crimea, we have, without a shadow of a doubt, probably the single most powerful fighting force we have available in any theatre at the moment within this campaign, and this is the armed group that I'm talking about here, my friend. I mean, look at the sheer magnitude here of this fighting force. We have here General Chris Zavosky, as many of you know, a veteran here of the council, and a wonderful commander. As you can see here, we've got line infantry guards units, lots of life guards with the finest we can possibly muster here. And we've also got some grenadiers, and again 24 pounders, both howitzer and foot artillery. We've also got our standard line infantry and also some heavy cavalry, which are always excellent in the fight. Then we come to this absolute brute of a force. I mean, look at this, General Ernok here, again landing in the Crimea, and we've got Royal Cuirassier Guards, Cuirassiers, we've got heavy cav as well, but look at this, Marines, late Marines and indeed early Marines. We've got also line infantry guards and a complement of howitzers and foot artillery. And then, last but not least, we have General Adin here bringing up the rear here with cuirassiers, plenty of line infantry and also some garrison guards as well, but plenty here of fire support, and heavy horse here. So that's going to be an absolute wonder of an army here, but this is a very powerful army. Now, the question was thus, if we take the Crimea, and here's the problem, not so much a problem, it's more of a dilemma. Now, this is what if we take the Crimea, we then rob the Russians of their single largest trading port, bar none. So we will rob them of a significant portion of their income from this trading port. Now, of course, they can probably redirect that sort of trade elsewhere because they have ports in the Middle East, and also sort of pushing towards the subcontinent. Here are there other trade routes and trade ports all the way down here. So they've got a trade port here, but yes, in Basra, and they've also got one here in Bandar here. So we're sort of pushing into the subcontinent here, but you know, this is still the Middle East here. So they've still got, they might be able to redirect their income via this way. So the ports, the trade routes might redirect this way, but or they might be able to, as you can see, they've got Damascus. They've retaken Damascus here. They might be able to redirect this way. But if we take this, a good portion of our income is actually from raiding their trade lines. So if we take Crimea, the trade line, as you can see here, 85,000 gold coming in here, comes all the way down here, all the way through here. Now it splits off. They get 2,299 from their Venetian exports and imports. Then it comes down to here, as you can see, but then it joins off here. They've got 12,000 here from France. So then it combines here to make 14,913, and then this line here gives them 45,000 here from Spain. So as you can see, if we cut off this line here, my greatest fear is that we are actually got, but does this line here only come from assets they have elsewhere in the Ivory Coast? I believe it possibly is. So if we take the Crimea, it might not hurt our raiding as much as I possibly thought it might do. Mind you, is this exports? So if the exports are coming up here, that means they're moving here. So what do they have in here that we're missing here? I'm not too sure. We've got the Mughal Empire here, and indeed our presence here within the New World is nothing. It's absolutely been vanquished. Now, as you can see, France has just a huge presence here within the New World. Continental US is absolutely under full French control, as is the majority of Canada here. So they have a huge swathe here. So if we take the Crimea, which we are going to look to do, I think we'll take the Crimea anyway, regardless of what it does to us, because we need to get as much internal income going as possible. Now, the question was this also: if we take, once we've taken Crimea, because I mean it's effectively a foregone conclusion, because the defences here will simply wilt in the sheer fire, the magnitude of this firepower here, and of course they've got quite a large fleet here which is guarding the Crimea, so we lose access to this. But Odessa here in the Crimea will actually fall to us, so all this will fall to us. We'll actually take the naval hospital here, which will allow us to build additional ships. Ukraine was the second sort of city here within Russia, particularly here in sort of southern Russia. Now the question was this: do we actually take Crimea and then move this army group up to take Ukraine and take Kiev? Because look at the sheer amount of Russian forces here within Belarus. It is staggering. Now they're not the finest quality. Look at that, they've got their great cannon here, the Tsar. It's not the finest caliber here at all, but that is enough to overwhelm any defences, even if we take the Kiev. So we've got to be very careful. We have St. Petersburg still under lock and key here, but we do have Russian forces loitering with intent, and already they're starting to hit here a lot of the infrastructure here of Moscow, which is just huge. Now if they unleash these against Moscow, we're going to struggle. Let's be up under any illusions here. We could probably do a huge amount of damage to the Russians, but would these hold out, or are we going to have to move these forces from the Crimea directly through Moscow to reinforce this? That's the key question here. We also have no... Actually, what we are going to do is send this gentleman back to Kiev.
The night is my friend.
If you would please, to get a better understanding of what the defences here in Kiev are. We've locked down completely here our sort of southern redoubt here in the Mediterranean, which is the absolute anchor, the rock with which this campaign is actually forged upon. We are looking to try and take Ankara if possible, but that is heavily defended. We lost Damascus, but we did take Jerusalem after a really brutal battle with the French. The French decided they wanted Jerusalem, weren't happy that we took it. It attacked us, declared war upon us, but we gave them a sound thrashing. They absolutely took a real beating there. But so did our defences. As you can see, this army here has suffered considerably here, but we do have access now to some very powerful forces here, which we intend to use with full vigour, sir. And we will bring these up to full scratch, this army. It will not be left. But we do have this very strong, well, not very strong, but it's a potent French force here, naval force here, but with the council calling for us to take Damascus and then move to Egypt and completely take all of the sort of triumvirate here of sort of facilities here, cities from both the Russians and the French. If we were to take Cairo, that would rip a huge hole in their sort of order down here, in their Middle Eastern holdings, as it were. But we can't stretch ourselves too thin. The advice even calls for us to actually abandon this foray here in the Crimea and move the forces and try and take Ankara and try and sort of sweep around here and take all of these regions here away from the Russians and sort of forge our own empire down here. But holding all of this with these limited forces would be difficult. We have to have a targeted focus here, like almost a laser-like focus on what we're going to do here. These forces have to be used in a particular fashion, in a particular way. We cannot waste them. These are the absolute creme de la creme here of our fighting forces, along with those in Moscow. But we have helped our ally here, Sweden, really reclaim a good portion of their sort of homeland. Now has been pushed back into their hands. So hopefully they will keep the French and indeed the Poles at bay. France is at war with us, but they're no longer at war with Poland. As you can see here, Poland is no longer at war with France, only with Sweden. And what about... No, they're actually Sweden is trade partners with France, which is absolutely fine. So hopefully the Swedes will keep the Poles busy. But that's a very strong Polish force there, good grief. Now we are raiding this line here, which is the French line. And that's a powerful force there, but not that powerful as we'd like to. Let's just redirect here what's going on. 50,000 because we've redirected that. What a wonder. And that was a tip the council actually recommended, that we realign our raiding position from time to time. Now we've got to be careful we don't step the mark here, because the French still have a potent fleet. But this fleet here, I mean, look at that. Look at that. That is an absolute joy to see, and we're actually going to bring this fleet up here to full strength. So we have two very powerful armadas, as it were, guarding the British Isles at all times. I think down here we'll also do the same thing here, and just realign our position here. So we realigned just as the council recommended. We've just realigned our sort of... but this is a powerful force now, look at that. We've even got a victory in here. So even if push comes to shove, we would actually move this force back to the British Isles and absolutely just seal off the British Isles from any further harassment. But I think we've covered everything we can here now at the moment. We are just waiting now simply to move into the Crimea, which the council has recommended we do. We shall take the Crimea and rip a huge hole in the finances here, of the economy of the Russians. It will absolutely, well, hopefully it'll start to see these armies here to suffer considerably. We've had to target our approach here. We've had to sort of take St. Petersburg, then move to Moscow, move to the Crimea, hopefully take the Ukraine, start to whittle down the sort of the Russian power base, as it were, bit by bit. Very targeted approach. We can't have armies, we don't have the facilities or the income to simply start building and creating massive amounts of armies, multiple army groups at a time, and sort of steamrolling everything our path. We cannot simply do that, both economically or militarily. We do not have the facilities to do that. It would require many more cities like Istanbul and indeed Athens to do that, and we don't have that just yet. But let's end the turn, my friends. I've done some lot of research here. Is that, yeah, rifled cannon. We're looking at here percussion shell, which is going to give us rocket troops improved, and we're actually really making a beeline here for our sort of naval facilities. We've got almost everything. Abolition of slavery, which is a must, and everything else I believe in sort of agriculture sort of industrial base has been fully researched. So we've just got the naval forces. Once these are finished, we can actually focus everything on getting our naval up to full power. Explosive rockets, we might just get that there as well, just for the sake of it. But everything else is at full capacity here. We've actually hit this port here quite aggressively as well. I wonder if we could put us a naval hospital there as well. So they've got a massive amount of naval facilities here, the Russians. Let's end the turn. Let's see what goes on here. Let's see what the response will be. What will France do? France is leaving, which is good. Oh, look at that. They're sending another force here. Unbelievable. They are throwing everything they can at us here. These forces have been through a heck of a lot even, should I say. This is going to be a very tough fight, because they're bringing in some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fresh regiments here. These regiments aren't at full capacity. They've obviously brought in these hurriedly here to try and take this Jerusalem. My goodness, we want Jerusalem. I think we'll take this fight. We've got to take this fight. But they outnumber us anyway by over 1,000. So we've got to take this fight. If we can, I mean, are they're going to continue? Clearly the French are going to continue to throw men at this force here. Do we abandon Jerusalem here and give it to maybe Sweden? But then what they do with it? No. Let's just take this fight first, then we'll decide. We'll let the council decide what happens here. But hopefully this force can indeed hold here. It's going to be a really brutal fight. The battle for the Middle East has just not... it is not subsided at all. I hope all of you are well, though, my friends. I hope all of you are well. I know I haven't spoken to many of you within a week or so, and I haven't even replied to any comments for a while either, because of sort of, I said, my technical difficulties with my broadband. So I hope all of you are well, my friends. Hope everyone is okay. Now let's have a look here. Oh, it's a. I believe this is probably dusk. Indeed, you can just hear those crickets in the background there. So that's obviously a really hot day. Now we know that the French are coming in from this direction here. So we have to be absolutely prepared. We've got no holes in the fortifications at all. So we've got full fortifications here. Right, let's bring everybody onto the parade ground here, so we have to know what we got here. Let's bring our guards in. This is going to... oh, we've got one regiment here that is at full capacity, which is excellent. Full complement. Is that the 101st? Indeed. 102nd. 93rd. Some of these regiments I've got to combine together to effectively sort of almost form one regiment themselves here. We've got cavalry, which we're going to have to use again sparingly. Cuirassiers here, take them off fire.
Wait for my order! Yes, sir!
They played a vital role last time. Again, we'll keep them in good order here. We are going to probably face a significant onslaught. Let's put them here for the moment, then we shall divide them into particular. Now let's get these regiments. 59th Regiment will be sort of the vanguard of the defence here. Oh, wait a minute, sir. How the blazes do we forget them there? Let's get this done, please, gentlemen. We don't want to start court-martialing people on the spot, but it will be done if necessary. Now, 59th Regiment, which is going to prove the linchpin here of our main defence, we'll hold them here in case they try to move in along here. Oh, wait a minute. What the blazes are you gentlemen doing out here? This is... the ill discipline here will not be tolerated. Now let's put the 102nd here, running parallel here. Sort of guard this flank here. Which do we need? Actually, this has taken some beating here. 71% here this wall has taken. So this will collapse if we're not careful. What we need to do is just move these gentlemen over slightly. That collapses, that's absolutely fine. We don't want to put... we've got to be careful who we have on here. Put the 79th Regiment here. Again, gentlemen. What the blazes are you doing, gentlemen? Thank you. 38th Foot Guards we'll put here. We're probably going to have to be looking at rotating forces around here. We've got nothing guarding it, but if they hit this wall here, it's going to collapse. Which means we're probably going to need to have regiments guarding this particular flank here. I should just put anti-cav in here as a precaution. We've got the 40th Foot here. The 93rd up here. I'll keep these two regiments here in reserve. I say regiments, they have been soundly beaten here, or thrashed, should we say. Let's move these gentlemen back slightly here. What the blazes are you doing here? What is going on here? Thank you, gentlemen. Good grief, this ill discipline will not suffice, sir. Let's really bring this firepower to bear here, because we're going to need it. Now the cavalry, I have a general here. The cavalry will be vital here. We'll leave one regiment of cavalry here. I do move out here to meet them. We'll leave the cavalry in here, but if we need to, we will actually move out and assault. But I've got a feeling they're going to try and punch through here and possibly here as well. This is indestructible, so we're fine up here. There's going to be a brutal fight. Might have to adjust our forces as we see fit. Let's begin. As I suspected. Here they come. That's a lot of forces coming our way. Oh, what a shot, sir. My compliments to the chef. Oh, look at that. Absolutely flattened there. That's 2 regiments almost extinguished. So what we need to do is immediately bring these 2 regiments up to here. Oh my goodness me, they've absolutely flattened us here. Look at that. We've lost over 100 men here almost instantly. We've got to deal with that cavalry. We've got to deal with that. That artillery has to be dealt with right now. What a shot. Give him a good pasting, lads. Oh, don't tell me you're just meandering here. Move it, lads. Get stuck in there. Get in there, lads. Let's get in there. We can't have them moving in the back here. the blazes are you doing? Get in there and don't mess about you, sir. Don't you buckle, lads, don't you buckle. Clear the walls. Oh, what a shot, sir, what a shot. My goodness me, the French really want this. Let's kick them off these walls. Gentlemen, do not meander. That's more like it, well done. Let's pull them down, we don't need them up here now. We've got to redirect our forces now. Here. Got to redirect our forces. Excuse the noise in the background, my friends. You can probably guess who that might be. Oh my goodness me. Let's get into them before they do any more damage here. Gentlemen, get in there please, if you would be so kind. Excuse any noise there, my friends in the background. You can probably guess whom that might be already. Are we going to break these French forces here, sir? Come on now, we've got to take these lads. Come on, lads, put them to the sword. Oh, what a shot there. Look at that. They've been absolutely vanquished, sir. Oh, what are you doing? Yes. Let's redirect here. What a wonderful shot, sir. Come on, put their gun to the sword, sir. They've taken a fierce. This is taken. Look at that. They've already taken a fierce beating here. Let's get out there. Let's get out there. Excuse me, my friends. Take a phone call there. They've gone at last. And now let's finish off the. No, gentlemen. Cease fire. Deal with these. We just need to remove these forces from here and we have done it. Another defence here of Jerusalem, and the French have thrown a huge amount of forces at this. Possibly all the forces they have within the Middle East and North Africa. Oh yeah, close victory indeed, sir. What a fight. What a fight that was. Look at that, 9 infantry troops. Cuirassiers did a wonderful job there. They lost almost everything here. Oh God, we took a real pasting there as well. We did. Let's not be under any illusions here. How much longer can we actually hold France? Hold Jerusalem from France, should I say? I dare you, sir. I dare you. They're trying to build a fleet here. What will Spain do? Hopefully Spain will keep themselves to themselves here. Poland, what will Poland do? Are they going to come and help their Russian allies? And indeed, what will Russia do? This will be the great question here to be answered next. Will Russia unleash those forces in Belarus? Oh, there it is. Unbelievable. Poland now declare war upon us. This is getting difficult. Should we say tricky, to say the least? At least we've got Sweden coming on our side here. So now that is the.
For borders.
Now that is a heck of a fight there. I think we're going to not win the retreat. We don't want to lose this fleet. We're actually going to retreat here. They're going to follow us. They're going to follow us. Now that's a real fight we got there. Now we could engage this fleet. We don't have. My goodness me. Do we take this fight here? They've got a lot of mobility here in this, but we've got a lot of firepower. We've got this HMS Victory here as well. Now, I am not the best admiral, but taking that there is indeed going to be risky. We've got plenty of first rates here, and so have they. How many have they got? They've got 2 heavy first rates. The rest of them are just brigs and smaller ships. Let's take this fight, my friends. A naval engagement now, I cannot promise you at all that this will go well. I am not the best sort of admiral at all. I really am not. So this might go really, really pear-shaped very, very quickly here. But we shall fight them. We shall make this stand here. If we've got to raid, oh my goodness me, what a wonderful sight here, sir. Now, where is HMS Victory? Look at that. I mean, that is an look at that. What an absolute wonder, sir. Now, we are up against a formidable foe here. Let us not think otherwise. We've got heavy first rate of renown. As you can see, the difference already here in the size. Look at the size of that. A full complement of Marines. Now, do we move and divide our forces into 2 here to try and strike them? We've got these sloops. I wonder if we put the sloops up front to absorb the first firepower, or the first attack here. Now I cannot, some of you are probably going to start shaking your head and thinking, Mallow, what are you doing, sir? And I'm going to put that up. I'm not an excuse. I'm not going to make excuses because I just don't do that, my friends. But this might not go well. What do we need first of all is probably our heavy first rates up front. Now what have we got? We've got Endymion, or Endymion, Somerset, Renown, Fame, Effingham, Prince George, Victory, and Ariel. I think we'll have our Renown here. This is our heavy first rate. Looks like we've only got 1 heavy first rate in this fleet here. So let's put that up front here. Then let's put the oh, we got Bristol here as well. Put the Bristol. Do we have 2 fleets? 2 lines, should I say? How many ships have we got here? How many first rates have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8. So we can have 4. We have 2 lines of 4 heavy ships. Or we can have 1 massive line of ships. Now the wind is in our favour. Do we have 1 massive fleet, or do we sort of try and divide and conquer this sort of? I think we'll go for 2 fleets. 2 lines, should I say? I keep saying fleets, but let's put the Ariel in here. Let's put some width and distance between them. Let's make sure they're absolutely on point here. We've got the Renown, which is actually our heavy first rate here. We'll have Fame here. Somerset where it is now. We'll have the Endymion, which will be here. We've got Prince George. Now where's HMS Victory? Here. I'll actually put Victory here. We'll put Prince George up front. A fitting tribute to the royalty. We'll have the sloops now. Do we put the sloops up front here to sort of lead the way, as it were, to take that initial first strike? Let's put them into two distinct groups so we have better control over them. Okay, let's take this fight, my friends. Let's see what happens here. We've got them all over here. That is a huge amount of ships, actually. Let's go with the wind here. We need to distract this force. Oh my goodness me, look at this. This victory, look at that. Oh, look at the guns here. A full complement here of Marines. Absolutely fantastic here. We've got to distract them as best we can here. They're already starting to turn in here. These are fast. We might be able to get... Let's see if we can get some shots off here. Oh, wouldn't it be a joy if we could actually board this ship? Oh, what if we could board these ships? Some of you are probably saying, man, you're splitting your firepower. Got to try and come across them here so we can get that fire onto them here. Can we board them? Let's try, at least try and board them. Oh my gosh, what a boon that would be. Oh my goodness me, we're going to try and board them. Can we actually board them? Can we distract them here? Gosh, what an absolute joy this would be. It's wavering. It's gotten its surrender, but it's I know this sounds pretty harsh, but it has actually done its job. They've surrendered, and they've also surrendered. That's probably a complete waste of a sloop here, but oh, look at that gunfire. I believe the chain shot was the best that many of the council said we should use. Let's see if we can just catch them on here. If we can sort of, how can I say, exaggerate this fire, stagger the fire here. Let's try and take down their masks if they can't fire, if they can't sail. lost one man there, one crew member. Oh, look at that. Look at that, absolutely butchered. It's on fire. Didn't even fire it, lads. Oh, doof. Look at that, sir. Now we can sort of come up just because come as one fleet here. That's a rocket ship right there. That's more like it. Oh, it's gone. It's on fire. Oh my goodness me, it's on fire. The heavy first rates are all the way back here. It's gone, this first rate is gone. Fame is absolutely being pounded to pieces here. It's gone. It's routing. And the renown is gone as well. We've been absolutely outgunned here. We've been absolutely outgunned here. Wow, we have suffered some heavy casualties here. We have been definitely, as I said, my friends, I am not the best commander on the oceans here. We got absolutely blitzed here. That's where their fast ships are coming in here. Oh my goodness me. What an explosion there, sir. Let them come, let them come. What a fight this has been. Even though we're taking an absolute punishing here, I've enjoyed this immensely. They come. God, look at that heavy first rate. That's a monster. What's the battle going on here? Good grief. Brutal fight here, my goodness me. They've surrendered, of course they've surrendered, sir. Let's get onto these, gentlemen. Good grief. Oh, that's gangs out. Oh, we don't surrender. Do not surrender, gentlemen. They've gone. We've buckled. We have absolutely buckled here. My goodness me, what a fight. I do apologise, my friends, for that, but I've got to hold my hands up here and say I did enjoy that. Now, we've lost this fleet here. There was, of course, raiding this trade line. Yes, we've lost a considerable amount of our income. It's routing. They've surrendered. By damn, the Poles caught us on the hop here. Just withdraw. Just withdraw. Jeepers creepers, great balls of fire. We have to rebuild this fleet again now. Look at that. Look at that ship there. The smock. Wow. They use their lighter ships to absolutely maul, especially this fleet. We should have kept our fleet in one health. I hold my hands up, my friends. I got absolutely thrashed, and I don't mind saying that I did, my friends. My goodness me, that was an absolute disaster. Any help from the council at all to rectify this would be a great help. I am not the finest admiral at all by any means. In fact, I'd say that I was the worst. But my goodness me, I think we have to move out here and take this fight to this Polish fleet here, put them to the sword. Oh, look at that! Heavy frigates on fire, and it's gone. Wow! Oh, the aerial's going to go. It's going to go up. All those men, we salute you, sir, your bravery. But wow! Oh my goodness me! That was a remarkable fight. Polish fleet did take a... They've got a lot of smaller ships which did aid them. They kept the heavy ships at the back, which is probably a lesson I should learn here. It's going to take a long time for that ship to get out of here. Oh my goodness me. How far has it got to go to disembark? It's a massive way. I'll probably cut this part, my friends, out so that we at least are able to end this battle. So you'll probably see the next part, you'll see this will probably be where it's back at the sort of casualties screen, because this is ridiculous here. Mind you, to be honest with you, might as well send this ship into battle, because it's only going to get lost anyway. So let's send it into the fight here. That Achilles rocket ship did a huge amount of damage to us, an absolute massive amount of damage. It really plummeted the morale of the ships there quite significantly. Let's go for the fight here. This ship will be sunk anyway. We don't want any ships falling into their hands, even though we have some surrendered. Let's take the fight to them. Let's catch them on the hop here. Full. Set sail, lads. The Narcissus. Second-rate ship that I don't even know how that even didn't get sent into this fight here. It's getting close. Steady. Neptune. Let's see how you fare against this, They've surrendered. Let's take a few of them with us. What a look at that! We absolutely blitzed them here. Got a heavy privateer. Let's see if they take the Zabawaka. Sadobaka. Come on, lads, let's take the fight to them. Let's take the fight to the enemy. They're reloading quickly here as well. Excellent to see. Almost full guns reloaded. They're reloaded. Ouch. Come on, lads, give them a broadside now. Oh my goodness me. That is absolutely fantastic. Two ships destroyed. Two Polish ships destroyed. Let's go for the third here. Let's try and take these rocket ships out here. And the Orion here. Ouch, that's a bombardment there. This one ship has done more damage than all of ours combined. That's it, lads, keep firing. Oh, they've gone. They've had enough. They've surrendered. Mind you, we did a little bit of damage here at the end. That was good to see. Whew, decisive defeat, I'd say so. Holy smokes. Oh, wow, we lost 6 ships. One remaining of it. They lost 10, got 10. Wow. We got soundly thrashed. Oh, they had another fleet in. Looks like we're going to have to do what we need to do here and put that fleet there. We've lost a huge amount of our income there. Ah! Here we go. They're going to start crossing the border into our redoubt here. Yeah, I thought so. Here we go. They're going to start pushing against us in massive way now. Russia, what will Russia do? We've now got to try and rebuild our fleet. We're going to start moving towards Moscow. Come on, Russia, what do you intend to do, sir? Yeah, then we're going to move forces now. They're going to try and retake Moscow from us. We've also got the Poles now going to try and take Petersburg from us. Yeah, here they go. Here we go. We've got to strike back here. This force has to take Crimea. We've got to try and cripple the Russians at least. Their economy. We have to. St. Petersburg is... Oh, look at that. They've suddenly managed to get a force into Crimea. We could definitely do with some Swedish help here, but we're not going to get it. That has absolutely sunk like a stone there. Yes. Well, it would appear that we are under... That's more like it. We shall raid the French trade lines here. That shall bring us back up to where we need to be. Pretty much, it was not as much as we had before, but still. Now, I think we're going to try and take the... We are going to take the Crimea. We can't replenish and repair this force at all because we don't have the money, we don't have the resources to do it thus far. And I think what we are going to do is we're going to take the Crimea. We've got the Russians obviously in revolt here. We don't have this here at the moment, but still. They're going to start moving against. We've got this Polish force here. Oh my goodness me, that is a very strong Polish force, including winged hussars. But we've got the forces here to repel this. But we've got the Russians on the doorstep as well. We don't have the money to do that just yet, so we're going to really be fighting for our lives here. Thankfully, we've pulled back to these positions here, but if they wish to fight us, then we shall be ready for them. What we will do, we're going to close ranks here. We're going to pull this force back to the border here of Greece. They're not going to be slipping between us here to try and get into Greece. Not a chance. We've got this strong force here as well defending here. We need to try... Oh, look at that. How the blazes did they get that army into there so quickly? I think we shall have the General Urnuk and Zavosky attacking the Crimea.
Behind women's immediately.
There it is, and look at that.
Yes, sir.
I'll actually put General Savosky as a blocking force.
Forwards! Yes, sir. March! Onwards!
And also General Adin here as well. They're moving this force to try and secure this, but we are going to have... Yes, have that, sir. Now we're going to... This is going to come under a huge amount of strain here. St. Petersburg is going to be attacked by a large Polish force here. Oh, we are really in for the fight of our lives here. I kid you not, my friends. We can't recruit. We've got. Hopefully, we can recruit some forces next turn here. We've lost this supply. This line down here is gone. We need to get another fleet up here to get down here, but that Polish fleet, by damn, it gave us a heck of a beating. It really did. We lost that really powerful fleet there, which is an absolute swine. It really is. But can we get this force up here, this force here up to full strength? Oh, look at that. We've taken everything there from the French. They've got 13,000 here.
Yes, Your Majesty. Fleet ready.
We can't actually get through there. That's absolutely fine. We'll take that there. Wow. But my friends, we're going to end this episode here. We've pulled back here to secure this front line here. So we can see that this force is going to move against us here in Epirus. We do have a significant force here to repel them. We might even move here and move up against them here. We might try and sweep around here and try and clear this flank, but they've got so many forces here, the Poles. We're going to struggle here to hold on to this. And we do have this fleet here. Now, could we move this fleet out into the Mediterranean and strike against could we move that fleet here and try and regain control here of the Mediterranean? Or do we leave it as it is? What do we do? What's your advice here, my friends, we do with this fleet here? Because it is probably our most powerful fleet. We do have a significant fleet here. And I would like to try and use this to recruit more ships if possible, but as you can see, it's very, very expensive indeed. Now we're going to try and take Crimea if possible, and we're also going to try and move and take Kiev, but let's see if we can move up to Kiev here and see what's going on.
Taking cover. I can't do that.
Take the Crimea. We'll take the Crimea. We might even sack the city and just break that in here. What if we give it to the Swedes even, and we can withdraw this force then, and maybe even strike against the Poles here, and start to push up against some of the Polish forces here. But if we can take the Crimea, this would rid them of Russia of their main income here, which will start to bite pretty hard for them. Now they are going to attack St. Petersburg along with their Polish allies here. Spain are very friendly with us. Can we get an alliance here? I don't think we can. No, we can't. That's a bit of a shame. But my friends, we're going to end this episode here. It's been a mixed bag of an episode. We've managed to hold on to Jerusalem here, but for how much longer could this army without replenishment hold? I don't know. That's going to be incredibly difficult. We've got 27,000 next turn coming in here. We need to get that. What that was, I believe, it's 70,000 at one point. But we've got to use what we can use here. We don't have any other choice. 7,000 to repair that. That is absolute madness. But we've got to fight through this. We've luckily established a very strong defensive line here and here. So they've got to get through these forces here before they get to Istanbul. And then they will meet this army here, which is ready to repel anything that comes its way. It'll cost the Poles dear if they want this redoubt we've built here. We might even pull these forces back. Once we've dealt with Crimea, we might even pull this army group back and strike into the flank of the Poles here and roll them up. But my friends, I'm going to leave that to the council. What do we do with this fleet here? And what do we do with this fleet that's in Thessaloniki here? What do we do with this here that's in this Greek port of Thessaloniki, and this, I beg your pardon, in this sort of Turkish Istanbul, Constantinople port here? What do we do with this here? Let me know what you think, my friends, what we should do here. What is the best course of action? Because it is probably our most powerful and most experienced fleet. And do we send it up against the Poles here, or do we send it now down to here to try and reclaim these trade routes here? Maybe even smash in this Polish fleet here and rid ourselves of that Polish fleet once and for all. Maybe try and hit the French lines here. But even then, that wouldn't be worth it, because you can see here the French sort of raiding the Russian lines here would be a waste of time, because they don't have any money coming as we've hit the Crimea. But let me know what you think, my friends. It really is a dilemma what we do here, but my goodness me, I'm looking forward to whatever comes our way. I'm looking forward to that fight. We are ready for this fight, no matter what happens. Whatever happens with this campaign, we are not going to give an inch. We will replenish and repair this army here. We will hold Jerusalem. And we will hold our redoubt here. No matter what the cost, we will not take a single foot. If we've got to move this army out here to join the defences, we will do that. I like to see them try and break these defences here. They will break themselves upon these defences. We could take Crimea. One suggestion is take Crimea and then abandon it, or give it to an ally, give it to Sweden maybe, and then move across and maybe take Ankara, or even hit the Poles in this sort of flank here, in this western flank. But I shall leave that up to the decision, up to the council. Luckily, the Swedes are hitting this port here, which is good to see. But my friends, I'm going to end this episode here. Once again, I apologise for the length this time has taken to get this up and running. But as you can imagine, my friends, quite a lot has been going on here. So, with me behind the scenes, as it were. So, I hope you can understand that, my friends, and I do apologise for that. But until next time, my friends, and also, please keep your comments coming down below. This really is essential and vital that your comments are put forward, because we really need to know what we're going to do here to sort of really push this sort of campaign where it needs to be. But my friends, I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, again, please keep your comments down below. And until next time, my friends, bye for now.